So earlier today, I was reading in my Bible and I came across a small passage in the book of Judges that said, and even though they were exhausted, they continued to chase the enemy. And man, I don't know about you, but I am exhausted right now. Not necessarily right this second, I've had a few cups of coffee, but in general, I'm exhausted right now. And I want to sometimes give up. I mean, some days I literally don't know how I'm going to make it through the day. Life is tough right now, and everybody is dealing with it in their own way, and it can just be very stressful. And sometimes I don't want to keep going. Not like in a kind of morbid kind of way, but just, I could also just sit on the couch and watch Netflix. But then I read something like that, this idea of even though they were exhausted, they continue to chase the enemy. And I think about how the enemy, and however you want to frame that for yourself, maybe it's depression or maybe it's fear or anxiety. We want to hide from those feelings. We want to hide from those things that are kind of weighing us down. And I'm beginning to think that maybe instead of kind of running away from those things and trying to avoid those things by staring at Netflix and tuning out, or not, hey, don't get me wrong, I'm going to be watching some Netflix, but instead of completely just zoning out, to really chase after and pursue those things so that they do not defeat us. And I don't mean like lean into them, but certainly in order to defeat an enemy, we have to confront it. And as I was thinking about that passage in Judges today, I also was thinking about some other times I've heard about that persistence of not giving up in the Bible. And of course, I don't know if you've ever heard the story of Benaniah. There's a book by Mark Batterson out called Chasing the Lion or something like that. Anyway, it's about Benaniah, who actually went into a pit in pursuit of a lion. And I just thought, man, that takes some guts to go in to battle a lion, and how we have things in our lives that it's going to take courage for us to confront. And especially now with all of this that's going on in our world, there are going to be times that we have to go down into the pit, right? To confront the things that are really bothering us. But there are going to be other times that we're going to have to be like Nehemiah. And one of my favorite parts in the book of Nehemiah, and I've already forgotten what chapter, but maybe I'll put it in the description. One of my favorite things about Nehemiah is there's a time and he's helping rebuild the wall. He is helping build that wall to protect his nation, right? His people. And there are people against him. They don't want that protection to happen. And so they try to convince him to come down. And he says, no, I cannot come down. I'm doing a very good work here. And so I think about that word, I looked it up this morning. That word that Nehemiah uses is the same word used that about Benaniah. So sometimes we do have to go down and descend and deal with something. And then other times we need to stand firm and continue to build that wall of protection. And either way, it's a process of confronting the things that that are our enemy, that are trying to pull us away from what God has intended for us. And so, I've been struggling lately, just like most of you, with how to adapt, how to deal, how to continue moving forward. And I'm blessed to have a job that is, I'm still very busy, and my kids are, old enough that they can do their schoolwork on their own. But, it's still hard. It's still hard to go through the day in and day out. But I just was so encouraged by this idea of let's, even if we are exhausted, let's not stop chasing after the things that we need to be doing. And sometimes that means chasing after the enemy and going down and fighting the enemy. And sometimes it means standing firm where we are and building those walls of protection. And if you are in need of encouragement for whatever you're having to confront during this time, maybe this time has brought up some things in your life that you're trying to confront. I'm no psychologist, I'm no doctor, but I would love to encourage you and give you some encouragement and some support and prayer. So please leave a comment for me if you'd like to, and don't forget to subscribe, because encouragement is basically what I do is find things that encourage me, and then I hope to share them with you. So I look forward to chatting with you soon. You have a great day. I hope you've enjoyed my scenery outside